Dear chosen ones, your radiance serves as a guiding light in this world, yet it can also attract attention for the wrong reasons. In the complex waltz of social dynamics, not all steps are taken with sincere motives. Today, we're illuminating 7 subtle signs that may indicate someone is exploiting you, sapping your vitality, and potentially hindering your spiritual quest. This is not about instilling fear, it's about arming you with insight. By the end of our discussion, you'll be equipped with a keener perception to identify these nuanced warning signs, empowering you to make conscious choices regarding who you admit into your sanctuary. This wisdom is indispensable whether you're maneuvering through personal connections, professional settings, or spiritual gatherings. So if you've ever felt inexplicably drained, doubted your intuition, or wrestled with maintaining boundaries, this presentation is your compass to regaining your energy and safeguarding your innate talents. Chosen ones, let's begin with the most prevalent sign that someone might be exploiting you. They contact you only when they require assistance. This pattern is age-old, but it can be especially draining for those of us who carry the weight of spiritual endowments and profound empathy. Imagine this scenario. Your phone buzzes with a message from an individual you haven't heard from in a long while. Suddenly, they're all warmth and friendliness, yet as you read further, you spot it. The request, the favor, the need. It's a recurring pattern, yet your compassionate heart often leads you to respond, to aid, to bestow. For chosen ones, this cycle can be particularly exhausting. Your inherent wish to support others, together with your distinctive capabilities, makes you a lighthouse for those seeking help. However, when the relationship turns into a one-way extraction without reciprocity, it's not just your time or resources that are being drained. It's your vital energy, the very essence that propels your spiritual voyage. Why does this occur? Often, it's because your light, your energy, your gifts are so powerful that others instinctively turn to you in times of distress. They sense your strength, your wisdom, your connection to something grander. While there's elegance in being a support system, there's peril in becoming merely a spiritual reservoir for others. The key is to recognize this pattern. Are there individuals in your life who emerge only when they're in trouble? Do their messages always come with a request? Do you ever ponder if they would reach out if they didn't need something from you? Identifying this sign is not about judging others or closing your heart. It's about discernment, a vital skill for any chosen one. It's about grasping that genuine relationships involve mutuality. They entail care and interest that extends beyond moments of necessity. By pinpointing these one-sided relationships, you're not just safeguarding yourself, you're also making room for authentic connections that nourish and bolster your spirit. You're conserving your energy for those who see you for who you are, not just for what you can offer. Remember, chosen ones, your mission is grand, your energy precious. While aiding others is certainly part of your path, it shouldn't come at the expense of your own well-being. Establishing boundaries with those who contact you only in times of need isn't selfish. It's an act of self-care and ultimately self-love. As we proceed, keep this sign in mind. Reflect on your relationships. Are they balanced? Do they energize you as much as you energize others? This awareness is your initial step towards crafting a circle of connections that genuinely support your journey as a chosen one. Diving deeper into the signs that someone might be exploiting you, we encounter a particularly covert behavior, the undermining of your triumphs. This sign is especially pertinent for chosen ones, whose achievements often transcend the mundane and venture into the extraordinary. Imagine this situation. You've just experienced a profound spiritual revelation, or perhaps you've utilized your gifts to assist someone significantly. Excited, you share this news with someone you consider close, but instead of celebration, you're met with nonchalance or worse, subtle devaluation. "Oh, that's nice," they might say, swiftly changing the subject. Or they might diminish your achievement with remarks like, "Well, anyone could do that if they tried." For chosen ones, this devaluation stings. Your achievements aren't just personal victories, they're often milestones in your spiritual journey, steps toward fulfilling your higher purpose. When someone persistently minimizes these moments, it's not just disappointing, it's an attempt to dim your light. Why does this happen? Often, it's rooted in the other person's insecurities or their inability to fathom the depth of your experiences. Some may feel threatened by your evolution, fearing that as you progress, you'll leave them behind. Others might be so entrenched in their own worldview that they can't comprehend the significance of your spiritual or intuitive accomplishments. Recognizing this sign is essential for your ongoing growth and self-affirmation. When your triumphs are consistently downplayed, it can lead to self-doubt, causing you to question the validity of your experiences or the importance of your gifts. This doubt can impede your progress on your chosen path. Remember, chosen ones, your journey is unique. Your achievements, no matter how intangible they might appear to others, are real and significant. They merit acknowledgement and celebration. If not from others, then certainly from yourself. Expanding on our understanding of how others might exploit you, we arrive at a sign that's particularly pertinent for chosen ones: energy deprivation without giving back. This sign transcends mere emotional or mental exhaustion. It targets the core of your spiritual essence. As a chosen one, you're likely acquainted with the concept of energy exchange. In healthy relationships, there's a flow. Sometimes you give, sometimes you receive. But with certain individuals, you might notice a perpetual one-sided drain on your energy reserves. These energy leeches, as they're often called, leave you feeling depleted after interactions. You might experience physical symptoms like fatigue or headaches, or emotional ones like feeling overwhelmed or anxious. The key here is the absence of reciprocity. While you're left drained, they seem energized, having fed off your spiritual vitality. This dynamic is especially hazardous for chosen ones because of your innate desire to aid and heal. Your empathic nature and spiritual gifts make you more susceptible to these energy drains. You might find yourself unconsciously shielding others from negative energies or taking on their emotional burdens, all without realizing the toll it's taking on you. Recognizing this sign necessitates a heightened sense of self-awareness. Pay attention to how you feel after interactions. Do certain individuals consistently leave you feeling drained? Do you find yourself needing to recover after spending time with them? These are clear indicators of an unhealthy energy exchange. It's crucial to understand that safeguarding your energy isn't selfish. It's imperative. Your spiritual energy is the fuel for your higher purpose. Allowing it to be persistently drained without reciprocity not only affects your well-being, but can also impede your ability to fulfill your role as a chosen one. Learning to set energetic boundaries is key. This might involve limiting time with energy leeches, practicing grounding and shielding techniques, or simply being more mindful of where and with whom you expend your energy. As we continue to explore these signs, remember that awareness is your first line of defense. By recognizing these patterns of energy drain, you're taking a crucial step in preserving your light and ensuring that your gifts are used in alignment with your higher purpose, not depleted by those who fail to appreciate their true value. As we delve deeper into the signs that someone might be exploiting you, we encounter a particularly distressing behavior: the attempt to control your talents. This sign is especially relevant for chosen ones, whose unique abilities often make them targets for those seeking to exploit spiritual or intuitive powers for personal gain. Imagine this scenario. Someone in your life, upon learning of your intuitive abilities or healing gifts, suddenly becomes intensely interested. But their interest isn't in your growth or well-being. It's in how your gifts can benefit them. They might pressure you to use your abilities on demand, perhaps to predict their future or solve their problems. Or they might try to leverage your spiritual insights for personal advantage, ignoring the sanctity of your gifts and your personal boundaries. This manipulation can manifest subtly through guilt-inducing tactics when you're reluctant or unable to employ your talents to their advantage. Alternatively, it could be more direct, such as attempts to commercialize your abilities without your approval or pushing you to disclose insights you believe should remain confidential. For chosen ones, this manipulation is especially perilous. Your blessings are not mere novelties or conveniences for others. They are sacred endowments intended for use in harmony with your higher purpose. When someone endeavors to control these gifts, they are not only showing disrespect to you, they may also be disrupting your spiritual journey. Identifying this sign calls for a robust understanding of your personal boundaries and the genuine intent behind your gifts. Do you encounter individuals who appear more fascinated by what your abilities can do for them than by your personal development? Do you sense coercion to exercise your talents in ways that cause you unease? These are warning signs that someone might be attempting to exploit your spiritual or intuitive powers for selfish gains. Bear in mind, chosen ones, that your talents are an extension of your identity, not a service you are obliged to render at will. Cultivating the ability to shield your abilities from manipulation is essential for your spiritual evolution and the genuine expression of your destiny. As we further investigate the signs that someone might be taking advantage of you, we come across a sign that can be particularly distressing: erratic support. This behavior can create an emotional seesaw that leaves you feeling perplexed, undervalued, and questioning your self-worth. Imagine this. An individual in your life is enthusiastic and supportive when you're basking in success. But when you encounter adversity or require emotional backing, they become distant or unresponsive. This unpredictability can take many forms. They might be eager to celebrate your accomplishments but vanish when you're facing difficulties. Or they could be attentive and caring one moment, only to turn indifferent or dismissive the next. For chosen ones, this unpredictability is more than a minor irritation. It can be profoundly unsettling. Your path often involves navigating deep spiritual and emotional terrains, and steadfast support is vital. When someone is inconsistent, it undermines your sense of steadiness and makes it challenging to rely on their presence in your life. Why does this occur? Often, it's because the person is more interested in the perks of associating with you during your triumphs, but is unwilling or unable to offer genuine support during your struggles. They might be drawn to your radiance and energy when it's shining brightly, but find it too demanding to remain when you're confronting darkness. Recognizing this sign entails observing patterns. Are there people who only show up during your moments of triumph? Do you feel forsaken or unsupported during challenging times? These are clear indicators of inconsistency. For chosen ones, whose journey frequently includes periods of intense personal growth and transformation, unwavering support is crucial. Those who are only present for the prosperous times are not genuinely aligned with your path. By identifying and distancing yourself from inconsistent supporters, you're not only protecting your emotional health, but also ensuring that your energy and efforts are directed towards relationships that truly foster and support your journey. Continuing our exploration of signs that someone might be exploiting you, we arrive at a deeply ingrained yet often subtle behavior: envy of your talents. For chosen ones, whose spiritual or intuitive abilities set them apart, this sign can be particularly challenging to navigate. Imagine a situation where you share a spiritual insight or demonstrate one of your unique gifts, and instead of receiving acknowledgement or appreciation, you sense a shift in the other person's energy. Perhaps it's a dismissive remark, an envious glance, or a subtle attempt to undermine your abilities. This envy can stem from various sources. They might feel threatened by your gifts or resent the attention and respect you receive because of them. They might even envy the profound sense of purpose and connection you have with the divine. For chosen ones, this envy is not just hurtful, it's potentially destructive. It can create an environment where you're constantly second-guessing yourself, doubting the value of your gifts, and even questioning your spiritual path. Recognizing envy is crucial for maintaining your confidence and clarity. Are there individuals in your life who seem unable to celebrate your successes? Who react to your spiritual insights with skepticism or condescension? Do you feel a sense of envy or competitiveness when you share your gifts? These are red flags that envy might be at play. For chosen ones, whose journey often involves navigating unseen realms and profound insights, this envy can be particularly damaging. It can lead to self-doubt and hinder your ability to fully embrace and express your gifts. Understanding this sign involves a balance of compassion and self-protection. It's important to recognize that envy often stems from the other person's insecurities or unfulfilled potential. But that doesn't mean you need to tolerate their undermining behavior. Setting boundaries with envious individuals is crucial. It might mean limiting what you share with them about your spiritual experiences or distancing yourself from their negative influence. Remember, chosen ones, your gifts are precious and meant to be nurtured and celebrated by those who truly understand and appreciate their value. By recognizing and addressing envy, you're taking a vital step in preserving your light and ensuring that your spiritual journey remains aligned and undisturbed. Our final sign that someone might be exploiting you involves a deeply personal and often painful behavior: dismissing your feelings. For chosen ones, whose emotional and spiritual sensitivity is a fundamental part of their being, this sign can be particularly damaging. Imagine you're sharing a deeply felt emotion, perhaps related to a spiritual insight or a personal challenge. Instead of receiving empathy or understanding, the other person dismisses your feelings. They might tell you you're overreacting or that you're too sensitive. They might even mock your emotions, making you feel small and insignificant. For chosen ones, this dismissal strikes at the heart of your identity. Your emotions are not just feelings. They're often closely tied to your spiritual perceptions and intuitions. When someone belittles them, they're not just dismissing your feelings, they're undermining your spiritual experiences and insights. Why does this happen? Often, it's because the other person is uncomfortable with the depth of your emotions, or they lack the capacity to understand them. They might feel threatened by your emotional honesty, or they simply don't value the importance of your spiritual and emotional world. Recognizing this sign is crucial for maintaining your emotional and spiritual health. Are there people in your life who consistently dismiss your feelings, who make you feel like your emotions are a burden or that you're too sensitive? These are clear indicators that someone might be belittling your emotions. For chosen ones, this belittlement can be particularly harmful. It can lead to internalized self-doubt and make you question the validity of your own spiritual experiences. Understanding this sign involves trusting your emotional perceptions and standing firm in your emotional reality. Your feelings are valid, and your emotional insights are an integral part of your spiritual journey. Setting boundaries with those who dismiss your emotions is essential. It might mean limiting your emotional exposure to them, or finding supportive communities where your feelings are respected and valued. Remember, chosen ones, your emotional and spiritual sensitivity is a gift. It allows you to perceive deeper truths and connect profoundly with the world around you. By recognizing and addressing dismissive behavior, you're protecting your emotional integrity and ensuring that your spiritual journey remains authentic and undisturbed. Your sensitivity is not a weakness, but a strength, a compass guiding you through the complexities of life and the mysteries of the universe. When you acknowledge and stand up against those who belittle your emotions, you are not only affirming your own worth, but also fostering an environment where your true nature can flourish. You are teaching others the importance of respect and understanding, paving the way for more meaningful and supportive relationships. In doing so, you cultivate a space where your intuition can operate freely, unimpeded by the skepticism or cynicism of those who fail to appreciate its depth. This space becomes a sanctuary for your soul, a place where your spiritual growth is nurtured and celebrated. Moreover, by addressing dismissive behavior, you are also modeling resilience and self-respect. You demonstrate to others that it is possible to honor one's own feelings and experiences without compromise. This act of self-advocacy can inspire those around you to do the same, creating a ripple effect of empowerment and healing. Remember, chosen ones, your path is your own, and it is paved with the unique experiences and emotions that make you who you are. As you continue on your journey, hold fast to your sensitivity, for it is through this lens that you see the world with clarity and compassion. Stay true to yourself, for in your authenticity lies your power. Continue to embrace your sensitivity as the gift that it is, and let it be the guiding star that leads you toward a life filled with purpose, connection, and profound understanding. And as you shine your light, may it draw to you those who will cherish and uphold the beauty of your emotional and spiritual essence.